Good evening, Advantage members. It's Friday, 7 p.m., October 30th. Price of Bitcoin currently at $13,587. Once again, we have come to the trend line we've been watching for almost a good 10-ish days now, or 8 or 9 days now. And we've bounced off it one more time, right? So really, the question is, can we break past these key highs? So basically what I'm looking at is if we get to this marker right here, okay, so this key high, if we can close above that on an hourly time frame, I'm fairly certain we'll take out this key high, which is the 13,850 marker, and that probably means we're getting towards that 14,000 marker. Now, yesterday we were way the heck up here, but we didn't close. Okay, this is one thing that if you've been watching my videos for a while, it doesn't mean anything just because price blows past a specific level. It's only and only if that price closes above or below the specific level that we're waiting for, like a swing, key swing low or key swing high. So until this happens, whether it's this current candle that we're looking at on the 4-hour basis or even the 1-hour basis, until we get a close above that area, okay, I don't see any reason why we cannot kind of just chop around here some more going into the weekend. Now, you can make the argument that maybe we have another ascending triangle being created, like in this area. So, for example, you could say maybe this and this kind of triangle. So maybe we come back a little bit, do this kind of thing, and then break out. And this would be, sometime tomorrow afternoon or evening. It's hard to say the time because it could literally just blow through tonight. But again, if we were to chop around in that triangle, that's what I would say is sometime tomorrow evening or something we might break out. Now again, we're going into Friday night, Saturday. Movements during the weekend or during Saturdays, you guys very well know, I take them with a grain of salt, and I would probably urge you as well to maybe stay away from the market. And probably if you do feel like scalp trading, just size down a lot, okay? Because I promise you over time, it'll help you become a more disciplined trader, because for now the markets are getting to the point of maturity, meaning Bitcoin and crypto is getting to that maturity point where Saturdays and Sundays are relatively calm. Why? Because the bigger traders, bigger professionals are not actively trading, right? Nor are the algos triggered to meet specific levels or meet any key support or resistance level during the trading period of Monday to Friday. Okay, so that's kind of one of the reasons why I also like to take off most of Saturday and pretty much most of Sunday until the futures open. Okay. From the pivot standpoint, on the 15-minute pivot, we are above the current daily pivot, and the R1 is right up here. So if we could get to that 13,738 pivot and we push up through it, that's another area where you could potentially think about longing if you do want to play that. And if you think that, well, we might get there and we might get rejected, again, you could play that as a short opportunity. As I've said for the past, couple of weeks now, since when I closed down my short way the heck back here, it has not really been that fruitful of an opportunity for me to go looking for short positions, because the market has been showing overwhelming strength. And so it's almost been much more lucrative to buy the pullbacks. All right. On the daily basis, again, this is one of those running flag movements, and I've seen these quite often, and more often than not, when a market is really bullish. Okay, so sometimes you guys know what bull flags are. They kind of look like this. Sometimes there's a bull pennant which gets created, something like that. But most of you may not have experience in running bull flags, okay, or running triangles, which is If this is a running bull flag. You have movement like this, and then you kind of go like this, and so you have these movements to the highs, but with higher lows of price kind of printing in like this. So it's a very confusing pattern because you think that, oh, wait a second, I might get a retrace down here, but the market is really bullish, and what happens is you keep running up and up and up in this kind of running flag, and then you just blast up. Now, I'm not saying that we have to blast up, but this sure as hell looks pretty darn bullish. And it also looks bullish because of the fact that in this area, like I've mentioned numerous times, between 13,920 and 13,272, the fact that we've spent a good amount of time in this area, in this key supply that dates back from all the way back from 2019. So the fact that we've spent so much time in here tells me that maybe the bears are not that strong in this particular area. Maybe they're waiting a little bit higher, or maybe they might be waiting much higher. I don't really know, but at the very least, I sure as hell am taking profit right around that 14,000 marker. After that, then we'll decide and see exactly what happens. Now tomorrow is the monthly close, right? Currently, the monthly candle looks pretty darn solid, okay? If we close the monthly as is, right, it will have been the highest monthly close since January 2018. The highest monthly close before that was December 2017, okay? The December 2017 candle closed at $13,873. So we have close to 24 hours, rather 25 hours, to get one of the highest monthly closes in Bitcoin ever, if we are supposed to do it. Again, it's not necessary that we have to, because even if we close as is, that's pretty damn bullish. Okay, so you can see what's at stake, right? From the bull standpoint, I mean, things look pretty damn good from a daily basis, a weekly, a monthly. All right, unless we get torched literally overnight down to 12,000 and some change, I don't see any reason, why this should not be considered bullish and why we should not be looking for more upside sooner rather than later. The S&P 500 did not have the best close, kind of rolled over. I'm looking at the market thinking, going into Monday, boy, oh boy, do the bulls need to defend this key level right here. That's around 32.10, 32.15. Because below that is just hell waiting to happen. Because below that is just a big drop, in this gap below. And that's a 300-point drop with really not a whole lot of support in between. And if that's the case, starting November, 2nd, which will be a new month, the Monday right before elections, it could just be a very violent, volatile, moving market. Now, personally, my thoughts are that we'll probably kind of range and possibly not break down, but also not sharply break up, because the market is going to be quite strongly anticipating and waiting for the election results. And so in that waiting game, the market kind of likes to just teeter on some specific levels, maybe stay in a range. It doesn't want to go through breakouts or breakdowns. Okay. And so, with that being said, the way BTC is positioned and DXY is positioned, I don't see why, Bitcoin cannot at least get to that 14,000 level, and then it can do whatever the hell it wants, right? It can dump, because even a dump from 14,000 all the way down to, say, 12,500, 12,300 is still not necessarily bearish. It's actually a reasonable pullback. Okay. Let me see here. We don't really have anything in terms of signals coming off the daily time frame on the Shepherd swing or trend maker indicators. Like any of these indicators, they're not really giving you anything. But if you look on the daily right here, we've gotten the first red B, which is the bearish divergence potentially building. So as we are continuously kind of grinding upward, this signal right here in the Shepherd indicator, which is the RSI based indicator, is kind of giving you that bearish divergence. So we're building upon that. And like I said, it would be almost poetic if we hit that 14,000, then we rolled over with this signal line of this aqua line rolling to the downside. Okay, all that would say is, okay, now we're about to start our local retracement down. On the 1 hour time frame, let me see here. Not a whole lot going on. Let's see. Yeah, nothing special on the 1 hour. If you're looking for retraces, maybe along this blue line, which is 13,500 or so, just to go long if you want to. 4 hour perspective, nothing special. Maybe we bounce back inside, towards this red zone right here, this red ribbon area. And that's anywhere between 13,250 down to about $13,100, somewhere around there. Okay. Again, that's if we get that movement down overnight, just in case you're looking for another pullback to go long. Let me see. So let's check out altcoins, right? Again, altcoins did not do crap today. And again, this goes along with my theory that I've been telling y'all that it's quite possible that ETH and maybe other altcoins are being pinned, a little bit lower as Bitcoin dominance, which, let me pull up that chart real quick. Let's go to the Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin dominance chart is reaching that resistance level. Let me show you all real quick what I'm talking about. So as you can see right here, so Bitcoin dominance is reaching this key resistance level in this red zone. Okay. We have some, bearish divergence building, if you will. If you want to look at divergences that in that way on the dominance. And not only that, like I said, we're coming close to that point of $14,000, right? So it's possible that we get that final hurrah to the upside, 14K, tag it. The dominance tags the resistance, starts to roll over. Bitcoin, pulls back, maybe goes back into a range. Who knows? Maybe comes back to 13,000 flat or 13,000, 250. And then this is where maybe, just maybe, altcoins bounce, right? Again, I've kind of not given up hope, but rather I've kind of steered away from my long positions a little bit in terms of altcoins because they just kept bleeding and bleeding. And not that I thought that from here we have to dump further, but it's just that I don't really want to be betting against, this kind of movement and this kind of grind down, right? Because I don't really know if from here we have to pop up. It's possible that maybe I was wrong and maybe from here we just keep rolling down. And the altcoin market breaks down further and further, and then Bitcoin rolls over towards 12,000. And then maybe after we get down here, then somehow we, climb our way back out somewhere in the middle of November or December or something. It's happened before, honestly, in 2018 and I think early 2019 days. So that's kind of gives me some reminiscent, memories of those kinds of market structures. Okay, let's check out Link and then Theta and wrap it up. Okay, so here we go. Link, same thing, looking like ETH, right? Just doing its best to hang on by a thread right around this pivot. Again, if you are someone who thinks that Link should bounce from here, I mean, this is a solid opportunity to get into Link as a long position because your stop could be just below this area, say 1060, maybe 1050, a little bit lower. And your first target is at least $13. That's a good 20-ish percent, 25% move to the upside. Theta, I think same thing. It's not looking so great, but it's kind of printing maybe a double bottom, like a W bottom, maybe something like that. But again, it's still under this pivot area, and that's very concerning to me. We really need to see some sharp upside movement soon, going into tonight or tomorrow, quite possibly. Okay. I think Elizabeth had mentioned Dash, and I kind of paid attention to it, but I also took Dash with kind of a grain of salt because we've seen these rapid accelerated movements to the upside. Like after a big candle spike up like this, you may have some grinded movement to the upside, but sometimes it just has a big massive spike in 1 hour, and then the next hour we just roll down and pretty much retrace the entire movement. We saw this happen in EOS, we saw this happen in OMG. Let me show y'all real quick what happened in EOS, right? Let me see here. When was it? Yeah, this was so you can see, in one day, EOS went from a low of, let's see, how big of a movement was this? From a low down here to the high right here. It went up 20% in a day. But then again, over the next several days, you can see it pretty much retraced the entire movement. Actually, it technically retraced the entire movement in 2 days. If you look at this candle carefully, in the third day, the entire movement of this big green candle got retraced, right? So, you can see that these are not really moves that you want to be betting on. In fact, one could make the argument that you want to be betting against these moves, these rapid spike movements up. Okay, OMG I think saw the same thing several weeks ago. You can see, big spike up like this one and this one, like 2 days. We basically saw rapid movement. So in 2 days we went up 200%, 200%, and then in the span of how many days, right? From the next candle over here, or actually technically over here, we retraced these two big candles of 200% movement in less than 9 or 10 days, right? So you can see, that's devastating to someone who buys anywhere up here. And so my job is to let you guys know how to be able to protect your capital, because we're in it for the long haul, right? We're not just in it to try to make a quick penny or a quick buck here and there. Because if you do and you get into that mindset, more often than not, you're probably going to give that back up to the market. Okay, so if you think of the market like a marathon, you'll be prepared every single day to be able to retain your capital, compound and build off that, off your profits. All right, I think I've rambled on enough. That's pretty much all I have. Again, I will be traveling this weekend, so my access to the markets will be limited. More than likely, I will not have analysis maybe till Sunday at some point, maybe Sunday evening. I'll see if anything happens tomorrow to update y'all on. But that's pretty much it. Take care. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And cheers.